Hello, everyone. Today, we're taking a look back at the beloved cast of The Wonder Years. They gave us unforgettable moments of growing up on screen. But nearly 30 years later, their lives look very different. From sudden departures from Hollywood to shocking controversies behind the scenes, you'll soon see why some of them chose to walk away from the spotlight. David Huddleston as Grandpa Arnold. We begin with David Huddleston, who played Grandpa Arnold, the loud, stubborn grandfather in the Arnold family. At 59 years old, his gruff voice, towering presence, and unpredictable temper made Grandpa Arnold feel like a real member of the family rather than just a guest character. Huddleston was born on September 17, 1930 in Vinton, Virginia, and his life ended quietly on August 2, 2016, in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He was 85 years old. Years of heart, kidney, and lung disease slowly weakened him, forcing him to step away from acting long before his death. The illnesses drained his strength during his final years, turning everyday life into a constant battle with failing health. His life story was far from glamorous. Growing up during the Great Depression meant living through poverty and uncertainty, and stability came slowly. He served in the U.S. Air Force and struggled for years to find steady work. Despite those struggles, he quietly built an impressive film resume, appearing in projects such as Blazing Saddles, and later becoming unforgettable as the wealthy tycoon in The Big Lebowski. The role turned him into a cult icon long after many actors his age had disappeared from Hollywood. His personal life also carried moments of loss. Huddleston married actress Carol Ann Swart in 1968, but that marriage ended in tragedy when she died in 1987. Years later, he found stability again with Sarah C. Coapa, whom he married in 1999 and remained with until his death. By the time he passed away, his estimated net worth was around $5 million. Modest by Hollywood standards, but earned through more than 50 years of relentless work. Jason Hervey as Wayne Arnold. We begin with Jason Hervey as Wayne Arnold, Kevin's loud, teasing older brother in The Wonder Years. He was 16 years old when he portrayed the sarcastic sibling who constantly tormented Kevin but secretly cared about his family. Wayne Arnold became one of the show's most recognizable characters, representing the chaotic energy of teenage rivalry inside the Arnold household. In 2026, Jason Hervey is 54 years old, and his career looks very different from what viewers expected during his television fame. After The Wonder Years ended, he gradually stepped away from acting and moved behind the scenes. Instead of continuing in Hollywood as a typical television actor, he shifted toward producing and became involved in the world of professional wrestling entertainment. He later worked with organizations connected to WCW and partnered with Eric Bischoff to build a production company that developed wrestling-related programming and reality television. That unexpected career shift came after the challenges of growing up in the entertainment industry. Jason had started working extremely young, appearing in hundreds of commercials and small film roles, including brief appearances in projects like Back to the Future and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. By the time The Wonder Years ended, he had already spent most of his childhood in front of cameras. Rather than chasing more acting roles that might typecast him as Wayne Arnold, he chose to reinvent himself behind the camera, producing television content and entertainment programming. His personal life, however, went through more complicated chapters. Jason Hervey has been married more than once and has children, but several relationships ended in divorce, bringing periods of emotional difficulty while he tried to balance family responsibilities with a changing career. Those personal setbacks contrasted with his steady work in production, where he continued developing television projects and business partnerships within the entertainment industry. He represents one of the most surprising transformations from the Wonder Years cast. Fred Savage as Kevin Arnold. We turn to Fred Savage as Kevin Arnold, the thoughtful teenage narrator whose memories guided the entire story of the Wonder Years. He was just 12 years old when he portrayed the shy suburban boy trying to understand family tension, friendship, and the painful excitement of first love. Through Kevin Arnold, Fred's performance quickly made him one of the most recognizable young faces on television. In 2026, Fred Savage is 50 years old and still working in the entertainment industry, though his career now happens mostly behind the camera. After the series ended, he stepped away from acting for a time, focused on education, and graduated from Stanford University with a degree in English. From there, he gradually rebuilt his career as a television director and producer, directing episodes of well-known shows such as Modern Family and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. For years, it seemed like he had quietly succeeded in reinventing himself, moving from child star to respected industry professional. But that carefully rebuilt reputation was shaken by controversy. Allegations about inappropriate behavior on set began surfacing at different moments in his career, and the situation intensified when an internal investigation led to his removal from the reboot of The Wonder Years. The news shocked many longtime fans who still associated him with the innocence of Kevin Arnold. Fred denied several accusations and stated others had been misinterpreted. Yet the headlines created intense public scrutiny and temporarily stalled some of his directing opportunities. At the same time, his personal life followed a different path. Fred married his childhood friend Jennifer Lynn Stone, and together they built a family with 3 children. Even as public criticism grew, he remained focused on directing work and family responsibilities. His journey therefore carries an unexpected twist. The boy who once narrated the fragile emotions of growing up eventually faced the far more complicated realities of adulthood under the unforgiving spotlight of Hollywood. Danica McKellar as Winnie Cooper. We begin with Danica McKellar as Winnie Cooper, Kevin Arnold's first love and the emotional center of The Wonder Years. She was only 13 years old when she portrayed the sweet and intelligent girl next door whose relationship with Kevin became one of television's most memorable young romances. Winnie Cooper was not just a love interest. She represented the fragile innocence of growing up. In 2026, Danica McKellar is 51 years old and still active in both entertainment and education. After the series ended, she followed a path that surprised many fans by focusing heavily on academics. She graduated from UCLA with highest honors in mathematics and even co-authored a mathematical theorem known as the Chavez-McKellar-Wynn theorem. Alongside acting roles in television projects like The West Wing, she also became a best-selling author, writing popular books encouraging young students, especially girls, to feel confident about learning mathematics. Her career therefore evolved in 2 completely different directions at the same time. While continuing to act in television movies and voice roles such as her work in the animated series Young Justice, she built a second reputation as a public advocate for math education. Her books, including Math Doesn't Suck, became widely known among students and teachers, turning the former child actress into an unexpected academic role model. Her personal life also experienced significant changes. Danica married composer Mike Verta in 2009, and the couple welcomed a son, Draco McKellar Verta, in 2010. However, the marriage later ended in divorce. A few years later, she found stability again, marrying attorney Scott Sveslowski in 2014, and the couple has remained together since then. At the same time, she occasionally drew public debate for expressing controversial opinions about health topics and political issues, which sparked discussion among fans online. Despite those moments of criticism, Danica McKellar continues balancing acting, writing, and public speaking. Dan Lauria as Jack Arnold. Next comes Dan Lauria as Jack Arnold, the stern but quietly caring father in The Wonder Years. He was 41 years old when he portrayed the hard-working provider struggling to support his family while guiding his children through life's challenges. Jack Arnold rarely expressed his emotions openly, but his discipline, responsibility, and occasional moments of vulnerability made him one of television's most memorable fathers. In 2026, Dan Lauria is 79 years old and still connected to acting after decades in the industry. His life before television already carried unusual experiences. He served as a Marine officer during the Vietnam War before turning seriously toward acting. That background gave his performances a grounded realism that audiences immediately recognized. After the Wonder Years ended, Lauria continued working steadily in film and television, appearing in projects such as Independence Day and later the sitcom Sullivan and Son, while also gaining strong praise on stage for his portrayal of football legend Vince Lombardi in the Broadway play Lombardi. Over the years, he continued appearing in series like Pitch and later film projects, including the political drama Reagan. His personal life, however, went through quieter changes. Lauria married Eileen Craig in the early 1990s, but the relationship eventually ended in divorce about a decade later. After that separation, he kept much of his private life out of the public eye and focused on acting work. Decades after first appearing as Jack Arnold, he remains remembered for the disciplined father he portrayed. Josh Saviano as Paul Pfeiffer. We begin with Josh Saviano as Paul Pfeiffer, Kevin Arnold's loyal best friend in the Wonder Years. He was just 12 years old when he portrayed the intelligent, slightly awkward kid who stood beside Kevin through school troubles, friendship drama, and the confusing journey of growing up. Paul Pfeiffer became the calm, thoughtful contrast to Kevin's emotional struggles, making the friendship one of the most memorable parts of the series. In 2026, Josh Saviano is 50 years old, and his life has taken a direction few television fans expected. After the series ended, he chose to step away from acting almost completely. Instead of continuing in Hollywood, he focused on education, eventually graduating from Yale University and later earning a law degree from Cardozo School of Law. From there, he built a career as a corporate attorney and later helped co-found a legal consulting firm in 2014, quietly establishing himself in the business world, far from television cameras. However, his years after fame were not completely peaceful. For a long time, a strange rumor circulated on the internet, claiming that Josh Saviano had secretly become shock rock singer Marilyn Manson. The rumor was completely false, but it spread widely online and created years of confusion about his identity. While Saviano focused on building his legal career, fans continued debating the rumor across forums and social media, turning his disappearance from Hollywood into a strange pop culture mystery. Eventually, he addressed the rumor publicly and clarified the truth, but by then he had already built a stable life outside the entertainment industry. Josh Saviano married Jennifer Romer, and the couple has a child together while living a relatively private life away from celebrity culture. Although he briefly returned to television with a cameo appearance in Law & Order, SVU, his story remains one of the most surprising transformations from the Wonder Years. A former child star who completely reinvented himself as a successful lawyer rather than chasing Hollywood fame. Daniel Stern as adult. Kevin Arnold, narrator. We begin with Daniel Stern as the voice of adult Kevin Arnold, the narrator who guided viewers through the memories and emotions of the Wonder Years. He was 31 years old when he provided the reflective voice that framed every episode, giving older perspective to Kevin Arnold's childhood experiences. That narration became one of the defining elements of the show, turning simple teenage moments into powerful reflections about growing up. In 2026, Daniel Stern is 69 years old and still active in film and television. Unlike many actors associated with one project, his career expanded far beyond the series. He became widely known for playing the clumsy burglar Marv in the hugely successful films Home Alone and Home Alone 2, while also appearing in popular movies like City Slickers. Over the years, he moved between acting, directing, and writing, even directing the family film Rookie of the Year, and later appearing in series such as For All Mankind. His career developed steadily through the 1990s and 2000s as he continued appearing in both comedy and drama. Stern also explored creative work outside traditional acting, writing stage productions and providing voice roles in animated projects such as Dilbert. In addition, he developed a second life as an artist, creating large bronze sculptures that have been installed in public spaces across California. This unexpected transition into sculpture showed a side of Stern that audiences rarely saw during his years in Hollywood. His personal life has remained relatively stable compared to many actors from the era. Daniel Stern married actress Lauria Matos in 1980, and their marriage has lasted for decades while they raised 3 children together. In recent years, however, his name briefly appeared in headlines when he was cited in a prostitution sting investigation in California. The case was later dismissed, but the incident surprised fans who had long associated him with the warm, reflective voice of adult Kevin Arnold. Even with that brief controversy, Stern continues balancing acting, art, and family life. Decades after narrating the memories of Kevin Arnold, he remains connected to the entertainment industry while pursuing creative work far beyond television. Robert Picardo as Coach Cutlip. We begin with Robert Picardo as Coach Cutlip, the strict but often humorous gym teacher who appeared in The Wonder Years. He was 35 years old when he portrayed the demanding coach whose blunt personality frequently intimidated Kevin and his classmates. Even in a limited role, Coach Cutlip became memorable for his exaggerated discipline and comedic timing. In 2026, Robert Picardo is 73 years old and still recognized worldwide for a career that expanded far beyond the series. Not long after his appearance in The Wonder Years, he achieved major fame playing the emergency medical hologram, known simply as the Doctor, in the long-running science fiction series Star Trek Voyager. That role transformed him into a beloved figure among science fiction fans and opened the door to further appearances in projects like Stargate Atlantis and many other television series. His career continued to evolve as he balanced acting with directing and stage work. Picardo had already built a strong theater background before television success, appearing in Broadway productions and earning recognition for dramatic performances. In film and television, he appeared in a wide range of projects, from science fiction to comedy, including movies such as Inner Space and later voice work and guest roles across numerous series. His personal life also remained closely tied to his career. Robert Picardo married Linda Pollock in 1984, and the couple had 2 daughters together. Although the marriage later ended in divorce after many years, he maintained a strong relationship with his children while continuing to work in television and science fiction conventions, where he remains a popular guest among longtime fans. Decades after first appearing as Coach Cutlip, Robert Picardo is remembered not only for that early television role, but for the much larger legacy he built afterward. From a small but memorable teacher in The Wonder Years to a central character in one of the most famous science fiction franchises in television history, his career took a dramatic and unexpected path. Olivia d'Abo as Karen Arnold. We begin with Olivia d'Abo as Karen Arnold, Kevin Arnold's rebellious older sister in The Wonder Years. She was 19 years old when she portrayed the outspoken college student whose political views and free-spirited lifestyle constantly clashed with her conservative parents. Karen Arnold brought a very different energy into the Arnold household, representing the cultural tension between generations during that era. In 2026, Olivia d'Abo is 57 years old and still active in film, television, and voice acting. Her career actually began before The Wonder Years, when she appeared as Princess Jenna in Conan the Destroyer, acting alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger while still a teenager. After the series ended, she continued working across many genres, appearing in films and television, while also building a strong voice-acting career in projects like Justice League and Star Wars, The Clone Wars. Her professional life, however, included both early criticism and later reinvention. One of her earliest films, Bolero, received harsh reviews and even won multiple Razzie Awards, with Olivia herself receiving a Razzie for Worst New Star. Instead of disappearing after that setback, she continued working steadily through television, later gaining recognition for playing the manipulative criminal Nicole Wallace in Law and Order: Criminal Intent. At the same time, She built a strong reputation in voice acting, portraying characters like Star Sapphire and Morgane Le Fay in the DC animated universe, which introduced her to an entirely new generation of viewers. Her personal life was equally eventful. She was once engaged to musician Julian Lennon, the son of John Lennon, but that relationship ended in the early 1990s. Later, she became engaged to actor Thomas Jane after working together on several projects, though that engagement also ended before marriage. She has a son, Oliver, born in the mid-1990s. In 2002, she married music producer Patrick Leonard, known for his work with Madonna, but that marriage ended in divorce in 2012. Despite those relationship changes, Olivia Dabo continued working across film, television, and voice projects for decades. The actress who once played Kevin Arnold's rebellious sister ultimately built one of the most varied careers among the cast. Giovanni Ribisi as Jeff Billings. We begin with Giovanni Ribisi as Jeff Billings, the quiet and somewhat awkward classmate who occasionally crossed paths with Kevin Arnold in the Wonder Years. He was 18 years old when he portrayed the shy teenager navigating school life alongside Kevin and his friends. Though the role was smaller than some of the main characters, it marked one of Ribisi's early steps into a career that would later become far bigger than anyone expected. In 2026, Giovanni Ribisi is 52 years old and remains an active actor in both film and television. His career expanded dramatically after the series, moving into major Hollywood productions and gaining international recognition. Audiences later saw him in Steven Spielberg's war film Saving Private Ryan, where his emotional performance stood out among a large ensemble cast. Years later, he reached an even wider global audience when he appeared in James Cameron's blockbuster Avatar, proving that the young actor from the Wonder Years could hold his own in some of the biggest films ever made. As his career progressed, Ribisi built a reputation for playing unusual and complex characters. Television viewers remember him as Frank Jr., Phoebe's eccentric half-brother in Friends, while later he earned critical praise for starring in the crime drama series Sneaky Pete. That role brought him major recognition and award nominations, confirming that his career had evolved far beyond small television appearances. At the same time, he began exploring creative work behind the camera, developing an interest in cinematography and directing projects of his own. His personal life has been just as eventful as his professional journey. Giovanni Ribisi married actress Mariah O'Brien in the late 1990s, and they welcomed a daughter together before eventually divorcing. Years later, he married British model Agnes Dane, though that relationship also ended in divorce after several years. He later welcomed twin children with his partner Emily Ward, expanding his family once again. Ribisi has also been publicly connected to the Church of Scientology since childhood, a background that has occasionally drawn attention and discussion around his life outside acting. Lindsay Sloane as Alice Pettermeyer. We begin with Lindsay Sloane as Alice Pettermeyer, the sweet but slightly awkward classmate who appeared in the Wonder Years. She was just 14 years old when she portrayed Kevin Arnold's shy admirer, a girl whose innocent crush created some of the show's most quietly funny moments. Even though her appearances were brief, Alice Pettermeyer became one of those characters viewers remembered because she represented the uncomfortable honesty of teenage affection. In 2026, Lindsay Sloane is 49 years old and still active in television and film. After her early role in the Wonder Years, her career slowly expanded through guest appearances across many popular TV shows. Her biggest breakthrough arrived when she became widely known for playing Valerie Burkhead in the hit sitcom Sabrina the Teenage Witch, a role that introduced her to a new generation of viewers and kept her firmly in the television spotlight. As the years passed, Sloane continued moving between television and movies, appearing in projects like the cheerleading comedy Bring It On, and later comedy films such as Horrible Bosses and She's Out of My League. At the same time, she maintained a steady presence on television with guest roles in series including How I Met Your Mother, The West Wing, and eventually the sitcom The Odd Couple. While she never became a traditional blockbuster star, her career developed into one of steady, recognizable supporting performances across many well-known productions. Her personal life has been far quieter than many actors from the same era. Lindsay Sloane married Dar Rollins in 2004, and the couple later welcomed 2 daughters together. Over the years, she balanced family life with a steady acting career, continuing to appear in comedies and television projects. Anyway, she remains a familiar face in Hollywood, often appearing in ensemble casts where her comedic timing stands out. Nearly 4 decades after the Wonder Years, the faces that defined Kevin Arnold's world have taken very different paths, from Hollywood success to quiet lives far from the spotlight. Some reinvented themselves, others faced unexpected twists, and a few completely changed careers. Which cast member's transformation surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more then and now stories about your favorite classic TV shows.